2. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya 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 la 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 la ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 la
Oh, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I tried to go around and say Shabbat Shalom to everybody, but I couldn't get to everyone during our opening Nigunim. But it's so good to see you. My name is Rabbi Aaron Miller, and I feel so lucky to be joined tonight by Cantor Susan Bortnick, who's, thank God, leading the music and not me in the service. And I want to just share before we get started that it goes without saying, and I'll share a little bit more on this later, that this has been a very difficult week for the Jewish people. And one of the things that brings us together is this moment of Shabbat. That we need each other this Shabbat. That Shabbat is a time when we become a part of something that's so much bigger than ourselves, that's so much bigger than that surge of emotion that many of you I know were feeling. Tonight is a night when we know that we're more than just ourselves. And so it is a joy to celebrate with all of you and to be a part of this community with you together tonight. Cantor, you want to introduce our musicians who are joining us?
Sure. I don't think they need introduction
Not
anymore at this
no.
point. But
they're here more often than we are.
We have Joey Antico on percussion. who will be here next week too, because he's here all the time. And we have Seth Keibel on flute and clarinet.
Terrific.
And he's here a lot as well.
All the time. And we have this wonderful community. So I want to give you all a chance, not yet, in just a minute, to get to know the people who you did not come here with, but you were sitting close by too. I want you to share, not yet, your name. Not yet. I want you to share where you were before you got here.
Not yet.
Not yet. And because now I think officially every school is back in session, I want you to turn to that person and share with them your favorite year of school. What was your favorite year of school? And by the way, if your favorite year, if you're only in 3rd grade, 2nd grade, you can say whatever grade it's been so far, right? Name where you were before you got here, favorite year of school for you. Go for it. Also, just before we officially begin our service, I want to welcome all those who are joining us via live stream. What a gift that you can be here virtually, if not in person. And I also want to say that there are at least 100 20s and 30s through 2239, the Washington Hebrews 2239 community, who are celebrating Shabbat at the GCJCC tonight. So imagine this space with, well, we wouldn't be able to fit them all, but imagine this space with even more.
We'd be in the sanctuary.
Right. So, so it's a good day to celebrate Shabbat together.
Absolutely. And so we begin on page 12. As we begin the Psalms, the section of Psalms that help us to increase our joy before we get to Baruch Hu. So page 12, Lechu Neranena. Lechu Neranena Adonai. Lechu
We'll continue at the bottom of page 14. Or Zarua Latzadik, light. Light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. O you righteous, rejoice in Adonai and acclaim God's holy name. So we're going to continue our service on pages 20 and 21 with Lachadodi. We're going to be doing paragraphs 1, 2, 5, and 9 of this prayer. But I want to pay attention, especially tonight, to paragraph number 9, which we won't do this now, but when this paragraph comes, we'll rise together as we say, Bo'i v'shalom. Enter in peace, Shabbat. Enter in peace. So as we join in this prayer of welcoming Shabbat, I'll just ask you a question. What do you tonight need to release just for a moment so that peace can enter in? What do you need to release tonight just for this moment of us praying together so that this peace of the moment can enter in? And when that Sabbath bride or somebody coming in late enters into this space that we're creating together, what will it feel? Finally, please God, this week, to be at peace. And so we'll pray together.
Likrat Night Shabbat nekabela lechadodi nikatala. Night Shabbat nekabela boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'b'tzola tov emunei am segula boi chala lechadodi likatala. Night Shabbat nekabela lechadodi likatala. Night Shabbat nekabela lechadodi likatala. Night Shabbat nekabela.
And we'll remain standing as we join on page 28 and continue with Baruch Hu.
Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach, Baruch Adonai Hamevorach, Le'olam ha'ed. Ya la la, 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 So at this time of year, we begin to notice, especially as we make our way towards the high holiday period, that night comes sooner than it did just a month ago. And so as we become more aware of the transition from day to night and night to day, our prayer that immediately follows Baruch Hu, whether we're in the morning or in the evening, is a prayer of creation. It's the two prayers between Baruch Hu and Shema. I like to think of them as prayers for those things that we don't necessarily pay attention to, we just take for granted. So the first is for creation and the second is for love. And so we take a moment now to pray the prayer of creation. And we'll do that through this beautiful piece of music called God of Creation. We've done it a bit, but there's English that is not in your prayer book. So if you do not necessarily know the piece, you can participate by either humming along or singing along, or you can also just appreciate the beautiful piece of creation that is right outside our building. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro ma'ariv arabim bechokma poteach she'arim. God of creation, who made
We continue on page 34 with Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. And we'll continue with another prayer of love, the Ahavta, on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen.
In just a moment, we're going to join in our people's prayer of freedom, Mi Chamocha, and there are so many ways that we could pray for freedom tonight. To lead into this prayer, I'd like to turn to page 39 at the bottom of the page and share a reading that I grew up with, and maybe you did too. Let's read together. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again, we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be at one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Beautiful.
Lord.
page 43. Together, those first two lines. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. We're going to join in Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, guide us in wisdom, compassion and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Save us, for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamidenu shomrenu
More than the Jewish people has kept Shabbat, the poet writes. Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. Shabbat that keeps us tonight, that keeps us together tonight, and is this prayer for Shabbat, on Shabbat, that we celebrate on page 44 as we join in Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, la'asod et HaShabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
We'll rise on page 46 as we join in the Amidah. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftahu fi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל מחלקל חיים בחסד מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We're going to continue reading together at the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat. We come to the moment in our service that I think a lot of us need most, which is a time to celebrate our joys. It's a time to celebrate our simchas. And so if there has been a moment in your life or in the life of someone who you love that has been for a joy or for a simcha over this past week from last Shabbat to this, I'm going to invite you to raise your hand and to share that joy, that simcha with us. Have there been joys? Have there been simchas for us to share? We need them this week. Yeah, please.
My brother finished his second week of college.
Oh, brother finished second week of college. Let's all together say, Modim anachnu lach. We are grateful. Other simchas, other joys.
Bigger song.
Yeah, please. Uh-oh. What you got?
So hard.
Yeah?
I got my hands down. I've been trying to get into a soccer team, and eventually he made it this time.
Fantastic for joining soccer teams. Modim anachnu lach. Mom, you're so embarrassing. By the way, no one ever invited me onto a soccer team in the history of my life. So fantastic. We got 1 and 2 back here. Please, yes. First week of school. How'd it go? Modim anachnu lach for first week of school. Another one? Another first week of school, and a friend came over. Modim anachnu lach. Madison, please.
I almost had a long weekend this past weekend.
Almost had a long weekend.
But then again, I had opening shift at the coffee shop
Okay.
this morning, so not really.
All right, so for long weekends, sort of. Let's all together say Modim anachnu lach. Anastasia, yeah. First week on dance team, we say, Modim, anachnu lach. The kids are, as they say, crushing it tonight. I want to hear maybe 1 or 2 from an adult. Yes, please.
Yesterday I had my first practice in
A pickleball team. They did not have that in Alabama. No. Let's all together say, Modim, anachnu lach. Yes, all right, 1 more. Let's do 1 more. From an adult, maybe, please. Oh my goodness, yes.
My grandson's being bar mitzvah.
Oh, Benjamin! He hasn't done it yet, but let's together say, Modim, anachnu lach. Fantastic. And so we're going to join at the top of page 59 and read together for our collective joys, for our collective simchas. Read with me. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We are having a very special simcha tonight. We have, if I could ask Rachel and Michael to come forward. Where are these two? Where's our wedding couple? Oh, terrific, Jesse. And yeah, well, the sheet was wrong. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Jesse, Michael, come on forward. So I want to take a moment and celebrate. So the two of you are getting married next week. A little more than exactly 7 days from now. You're going to be standing under a chuppah. Oh boy. So I want to share with you, especially given this moment, what that means. And I want to share a blessing with the two of you as you get ready for that day. And I want to give you something to think about as you're standing under the chuppah, entering into this next chapter of your lives. The first thing, and I was actually talking to Joey about this, who's getting married soon as well. As well prepared as you feel like you are.
We don't.
He said we don't.
Perfect. That's good.
There are going to be 1,000 things that come up between now and your wedding day. Take them in stride. No wedding has been perfect, and yours will not be the first. Find the joy, and there will be tremendous joy. Even as you curate life's blooper reel as the wedding unfolds. My first prayer for you is that you have some really good stories that decades down the road, when those who come after you are listening to your wedding story, that you can laugh at and take a lot of joy in. And those things are probably not going to be the things that go perfectly. They're going to be the things that you laugh at down the road. So your blooper reel will go a long way in helping this wedding be a good story. I also want to share another thing, especially given the moment that we're in as a people, which is this is quite a time to get married. This is a time where our people are feeling all kinds of things. And I want to share with you a blessing that Cantor Manovich, our beloved Cantor Emeritus, will be singing for you on the day of your wedding. There are going to be 7 blessings that he'll share. And the 7th blessing is an almost direct translation from the prophet Jeremiah. I'm going to read this blessing to you. The prophet Jeremiah almost said, we praise you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, creator of joy and gladness, bride and groom, love and kinship, peace and friendship. There, O God, may there always be heard in the cities of Israel and in the streets of Jerusalem the sounds of joy and of happiness, the voice of the groom and the voice of the bride, the shouts of young people celebrating and the songs of children at play. Jeremiah lived at a time when Jerusalem was destroyed, and overlooking this landscape of destruction and death and unimaginable loss. Jeremiah cries out to God that there will never again be heard in the cities of Israel and in the streets of Jerusalem the voice of the bride and the voice of the groom, the shouts of young people celebrating and the songs of children at play. Jeremiah, surveying the destruction of our people, says there will never again be joy. And our rabbis take what Jeremiah says, that there will never be. And instead of saying never, they say always. That so long as there is a bride like you, Jesse, and a groom like you, Michael, so long as there are couples who celebrate a committed love to each other, that no matter what darkness is happening beyond the chuppah, there's always joy, there's always light, and there's always hope. You remind our people at a time of darkness that there's a light that cannot be extinguished. And I want to thank you on behalf of our congregation and on behalf of our people for giving us that gift. And we have a gift for you. This gift is on behalf of Washington Hebrew. And as you create your Jewish home, I hope that this helps adorn your Jewish home for a blessing. And so I'm going to ask you just to stand right here. I'm going to wrap you in this talit, and we will share a blessing that Cantor Manovich will do a much better job singing than I will right now. But But this is the priestly benediction. It's the blessing that priests and rabbis use to bless those they care about very much. And so on behalf of our congregation, we say, Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God show God's face to you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai, Adonai elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom. May God show God's face to you always, and may you see the face of God in the person you love. And may God grant you the gift of peace, to which we all say, Amen, Amen. Siman tovu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, siman, clap with us. Siman tovu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, siman tovu, mazel tavu, siman tovu, Yehelanu, 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 Ulechol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Can we all say Mazel Tov?
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Next time you're going to wear white. It's going to be your wedding. That's fantastic. All right, beautiful. Thank you all so much for celebrating the Simcha with us. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Michael. Mazel tov again. Thank you. What a joy. What a joy, you two. Okay. One of the traditions that our rabbis pass down is that when you break the glass at a wedding, it is an acknowledgement that the world beyond this space is not entirely whole. Our prayer is that the love that the couple brings to the world makes the world a more peaceful place. And so we're going to turn to page 60 and join together in Shalom Rav in our prayer that God extend the shelter of peace on us all.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai Amevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
In just a moment, we're going to pause for silent prayer. And as we do, I'd like to share with you a reading on page 218. I need strength, humility, courage, patience. Strength to control my passions, humility to assess my own worth, courage to rise above defeats, patience to cleanse myself of imperfections, and wisdom to learn and live by our sacred teachings. Let me not be discouraged by my failings. Let me take heart from all that is good and noble in my character. Keep me from falling victim to cynicism. Teach me sincerity and enthusiasm. Endow me with perception and courage, that I may serve others with compassion and love. We'll pause for a moment of silent prayer. We're going to take a moment and pray for healing, knowing that healing comes in so many forms, and also knowing that there are a number of you who are praying for healing for those you love. Our congregation this evening prays for the refuah shlema, for the healing of Norman Buckman, Nathan Ben Esther, Norma Fetter, Marvin Galler, Howard Clow, Benson Klein, Roberta Krasner, Alan Levine, Joe Millstone, Judy Oppenheim, Malka Batsara, and Stuart Scher. If there are names of people who you are praying for healing in this moment, I'm going to look around the room and I'll invite you to share their names out loud with us. page 253. Well, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
For all kinds of reasons, this was such a hard week. It was such a hard week for our people. It's a hard week for our congregation. And I thought that I would walk you through what it was like to be a rabbi this week. I woke up, as I think most, if not all of you did, on Monday morning to horrific news about the murder of the 6 hostages. I'll say this, I was a little bit numb at first. I didn't quite know what to make of it. And I wrote a sermon on Monday about generosity, I'll give it another year, not now. I worked on it on Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday, I woke up mad. Mad doesn't cut it. I woke up furious. I woke up in such a rage. And so I wrote an angry sermon on Wednesday. And on Thursday, I wrote a different one. And that's the sermon I want to share with you tonight. But first, I'll share with you the sermon I'm not giving. The angry sermon. And I'm not giving you the sermon, but I do want to say that this week's Torah portion, it would have been perfect for an angry sermon. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Shoftim. It's our Torah portion. Shoftim is literally judges. It's a Torah portion about justice. This is the Torah portion, if you're familiar with the line, justice, do you know the line? You shall pursue. There's another equally famous line in this week's Torah portion, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a life for a life. There's a less well-known phrase, but it shows up in this week's Torah portion, that we're commanded to sweep out evil from our midst. That's in this week's Torah portion 3 times. This phrase only shows up 5 times in the entire Torah. 3 of them are in this week's Torah portion. And so I woke up on Wednesday angry. And I ended Wednesday, I was in a way. I got angrier on Wednesday when I heard from a college student who, on his first day of class, experienced a level of anti-Semitism unlike anything he had ever experienced in his life. He told me about it. I got angrier when I read about 7,000 people marching through New York, some of them waving Hamas and Hezbollah flags on the day of some of these hostages' funerals. I got angrier with each misleading headline that I read. I was in such a place come the end of Wednesday. And on Wednesday, I wanted you to be angry with me. I wanted you to be furious with me. And I have to say, I was probably going to say things that not everybody here agrees with. And okay, I was ready for the emails. I was ready for the phone calls. I went to bed on Wednesday thinking, just bring it on. I was in a way on Wednesday. And on Thursday, I woke up and I read the Haftarah portion. For those of you who are not familiar with the Haftarah portion, with this tradition, there's 54 Torah portions. Each one is connected to an accompanying selection from the book of prophets that almost always, emphasis on the almost tonight, puts an exclamation point on the message of the Torah portion. It emphasizes the key theme of whatever Torah portion it's commenting on. Except for this week. This week we read from Isaiah chapter 51, where Isaiah is prophesizing the death and destruction of so much of Israel. And the Haftarah portion begins not with anger, but with Isaiah speaking on behalf of God. God says, I am the God who comforts you. It's a different message. Usually the Haftarah portion, again, emphasizes the theme of the Torah portion. But our Haftarah portion is so different. Both Isaiah and our Torah portion are about the severity of loss, the severity of death, the finality of what so many of us experienced on Monday. So why are they so different? How does Shoftim, the Torah portion, and Isaiah have such a different take on that same experience of loss? Now, people experience loss differently, and Cantor and I know this full well. We've walked alongside you, so many of you, through moments when you've had to say goodbye to the people who are closest to you. I'm looking around the room, and I see many of you. Let me make this lighter for a minute. I know this is a little bit heavy, but rabbis are known for giving unsolicited advice. I try to give as little as possible, but sometimes I can't help myself. One of the things that I see happen all the time, or one of the pieces of advice that I will often share with people who've just lost someone very close to them. This is at an intake. An intake is where a rabbi or a cantor gets together with the immediate family of someone who's passed away, and we learn about the deceased's story. I will often, it depends, I will end that conversation with some unsolicited advice, which is just for the mourners, to be nice to each other. Just to be nice to each other. Because one of the things that happens in grief, when you lose someone close to you, and maybe this wasn't your experience, if you, God forbid, you've lost somebody close to you, but this happens more often than you think, is that people are just angry. There's a bitterness, there's this rawness of grief. And a lot of times that anger is directed towards other people who are grieving too, right? There's something about grief that can make people so very angry. So be nice to each other, I say. But what is it about grief that makes people so angry? What is it about loss and death that can bring out the rage in somebody? And again, this is not everybody, but it happens often. I have a theory I'll share with you. I didn't fact check this. This is just my own observation, or my own guess, which is that death can be not just horrible and permanent, but incredibly disempowering. You can spend your life taking care of your career and your job and your finances, and in every part of your life, there's something about death that rips out that illusion of control from underneath your feet. And I wonder if anger is our way of yanking back the control that's been taken from us. I wonder if that's our way of saying, about this, I have some kind of agency still. I can still do something in the world, right? That's what anger, I wonder if that's what anger can do. Anger is our attempt at bringing agency back. But for anyone who's been angry, for anyone who's been really angry, you know that anger will not get you where you need to go. Anger, in fact, just makes you more isolated. It makes you more lonely, which leads to more anger, which leads to more isolation, which leads to more loneliness on the other side. Anger will not get you where you need to go in this time of death. So I want to tell you about grief. And I want to tell you about Jewish grief. Because if you've ever observed the loss of a loved one here at Washington Hebrew, you'll know that the first thing we'll do, and I'll walk you through this, is you'll come to Washington Hebrew about an hour early, and you and your immediate family are going to be in the library. And people are going to come in. They're going to share their condolences. They're going to give you a hug. They're going to give you a kiss. And then they're going to come in here, and they're going to wait for you. There are going to be a lot of people in the chapel, but there's just a couple of people in the library. Those people whose lives have been turned upside down. Those are the people who will wear a kriya ribbon, a black ribbon that symbolizes that this is not just a sad day for them. This is the beginning of a chapter of grief and of loss. We honor that core group of mourners through this wearing of a kriya ribbon. Modern psychology is caught up with this idea, actually, that there is an inner core of grief, and then there are these rings of grief that emanate outward. And as I'm thinking about these 6 hostages whose lives were so tragically ripped from us, there are core mourners, people who are truly grieving in a way that I can't even imagine. Children have lost parents. Nieces and nephews have lost uncles and aunts. Parents have lost children, and their lives are forever torn apart. That's that inner circle. And then one ring out, our neighbors and colleagues and dear friends who will remember this moment for the rest of their lives. And then one ring out from that is a nation that has been terrorized through the psychological torment, the likes of which I can't even conceive, but I read about every single day. And then there's us, you and me, here in America, thousands of miles away. And even though their grief is not like our grief, we are grieving in a different way tonight too. And there might be even one other layer after this, because each of us hopefully is blessed with non-Jewish friends who, even if they can't understand what it feels like to be Jewish right now, are with us by our side and who want to understand. Anger can push everyone away, but if we can sit in that grief for a moment, all of a sudden, there's a world who is grieving with us. Anger can make you so small, but grief in this time of loss can expand. By the way, I'm not saying there's nothing to be angry about, God forbid. There is that sermon I didn't give. But grief can do what anger never could. Grief can make us a family. And so, be in grief with me tonight. Be in grief. We can be angry by ourselves, but be in grief tonight, because it is grief that will help us walk through this moment. It is death and loss that can rip a hole in our lives, in our sense of security, in our sense of agency, in our sense of comfort, in our sense that the world makes sense. Death takes all of that away and leaves a giant crater in return. But grief can open up that door for everyone you know and love, and people you've never met, to step into that moment with you and walk with you through the valley of the shadow of death. When you're angry, you're alone. When you grieve, we are together. And so tonight we're a family. We're a family with our congregation. We're a family with the Jewish people. Tonight we are sisters with those who grieve. We are brothers with those who grieve. We are achim. We are family. And together as family, please God, through this moment, we will begin to heal. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. The whole house of Israel who are in distress and captivity, who wander over the sea and land. them and bring them from distress to comfort, from darkness to light, from slavery to redemption, now, swiftly, and soon. We'll rise together on page 282 and pray for a world redeemed.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotze bereshit, shelo asanu kageye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor alenu kecho hamonam, vanachnu korim, umistachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamalchim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. In just a moment, we are going to remember those we have lost this week. And before we do, I'd like to share a poem recently written by Rabbi Evan Schultz. I'm sitting in the waiting room, in the land of tears, hoping to hear good news, or any news, really. I've read all the frayed magazines, watched too much daytime TV, and gazed at every photograph on the wall. I paced the floor with eyes to the sky, asking the receptionist, have you heard anything? Anything? Anything at all? Yes, she replied. 6 angels flew to heaven just last night. You can see them in the stars and in the trees, but not from here. And I'm sorry, but I must close up the waiting room for today to go home and hug my children. Where shall I go? I asked in broken tones. Stop waiting, she replied, as she opened the door to sun and traffic and everyday things. We are less 6 angels, and there is much to be done out there in the land of hope, and not here in the waiting room, in the land of tears. This evening, our congregation remembers the yahrzeit, the passing away, the anniversary of the passing of Robert A. Ades, Ellis L. Aronson, Samuel W. Augustine, Esther Kramer Ostern, Helen P. Becker, Ethel Berman, Michael Burrs, Rose Bertoff Burzak, Benjamin Blanken, Molly Dworkin Block, Jacob Braunrot, Eleanor B. Chucker, Florence Cohen, Meyer S. Cohen, Lena Y. Kalandi, Bruce Stan, Gerald Director, Michael Dryben, Samuel Adelson, Adolf Einhorn, Fanny L. Einstein, Faye Fertig Feder, Irving Feld, Arnold Fine, Samuel G. Fisher, Carrie N. Friedlander, Edward I. Gessinger, Zelda Shekoff-Gersten, Henry S. Goodman, Ruth Gordon, Louis Goss, Judith Bazelon Gross, Rose K. Grunstein, Samuel F. Higger, Harry Hillman, Samuel J. Honberger, Milton Horowitz, Bella Ladden Jaffe, Sally K. Fritz Jaffe, Donald Kenton Janoff, Sarah Nell Janoff, Rose B. J., Ann Jersky, John H. Kaplan, Charles Katz, Mortimer Michael King, Constance Ann Kohner, Clara Adler Kraskin, Milton Kronheim Sr., Julia L. Lux, Hattie Meyer, Maurice Mazo, Isadora Miller, Robert Mitchell Minkoff, Eva Ida Neviaser, Isaac W. Norlinger, Gaston Oxman, David Jacob Phillips, Jack Pollan, May Laurie Reinhardt, Harold L. Buddy Robinson, Mark David Rosen, Alfred Rosenthal, Jules J. Ross, Molly Schulman, Edith Sugar Schwartzbach, Elliot R. Sellinger, Harry Sennett, Miriam Shankman, Louis H. Shapiro, Ronald Louis Shapiro, Adele Siegel, Janet Siegel Leibowitz, Eva Silverman, Lena Goodman Singer, Thelma Sinrod, Evelyn C. Smith, Herman O. Steckler, H. L. Strasburger, Leon Strauss, Rose Kitzman Weiner, Andrew Weissman, Sylvia L. Whitty, and Mari Young. We remember those our congregation has laid to rest this week, Rita in recent days. Rita Harold Hankins, Peggy Silver, Michelle Meyer, Peggy Smith, Louis Glickfield, John Joseph Walsh, Hallie Zalkin, Robert Bonifant, Shirley Beek, and Eleanor Sturrock and Susan Appleman. We also remember the names and the memories of the 6 hostages: Carmel Gatt, Eden Yerushalmi, Alexander Lobanov, Almog Sarusi, Ori Danino, and Hirsch Goldberg-Pullman. To those names, if there are names that I mispronounced or names that you are holding in your heart, I'll look around the room and I invite you to share their names as my eyes meet yours. We rise as we join in Kadisha Tome on page 294. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divarach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we together say, amen. Amen. Please be seated. At this time in our service, it is my honor to call up one of our board of directors, a member of our board of directors, Mark Shineson, to share with us a few things that are coming up here at Washington Hebrew and to share a little bit in the Simcha that's coming next.
Good evening. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Mark Shineson. I'm a member of the board. We have some wonderful opportunities to engage with Washington Hebrew and the community in the next few weeks. On September 13th, we will have our Welcome Home Shabbat. please join us for Shabbat services at 6 p.m. Opening the Amram Scholar Series at 7 p.m. Sunday, September 22nd, with Amir Tibon discussing his book, The Gates of Gaza. Gathered together for Shemloch on Saturday, September 28th, with dinner, clergy-led workshops, the beautiful Shaloch service, and concluding with a special dessert reception. Please also take a copy of this week with you and use the QR code for more information or visit our website. Every Shabbat, we increase our joy by reciting Kiddush. This is the moment when we remember the miracle of the Exodus and celebrate our freedom. At Washington Hebrew Congregation, we also use this moment in our service to remember Kami Lauren Nathanson and the power each person has to make an impact in our community and change the world for the better. As we celebrate the milestone of our bar mitzvah, Benjamin Teicher, we invite him to the bima, along with all the children here who are present tonight, to come forward and lead us in the Kiddush. May the vision of these young people give us strength, pride, and hope for a brighter future.
Ooh, I spilled. Here, grab one. I'm so sorry. It's a little sticky on the bottom. There you go. Here, Benjamin. Do you want to dry it off underneath? Beautiful. Here, take one and I'll dry it off.
You get to take front and center.
Okay, beautiful. There you go.
Oh, that's for you.
And there you go. All right, come front and center, guys. Great. All right, join us in the middle. This way, in front of these chairs. All right, come forward.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Amen.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you make the holy Shabbat of our heritage, as a reminder of the work of creation, as first among our sacred days. It recalls the exodus from Egypt, as first you chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Beautiful.
We join together in chanting quickly, because I know the service is running a little long. The Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit. Ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim.
L'chaim, people. Nice. Beautiful. You guys,
All right.
stick around up here. You all, Benjamin, good luck, buddy. All right, come on close. Okay. So stand close because we have only one talit, and
I brought the big one.
you brought. Oh, so smart.
Yeah.
Cantor is brilliant. All right, so we have now the opportunity, as we blessed Jesse and Michael with the priestly benediction, to bless these wonderful representations of our future and just fantastic children themselves with this benediction that has been passed down from the generations.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God show God's face to you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom, shalom.
May God show God's face to you and grant you peace. To which we all say,
Amen.
Take a
Can you
seat,
hear
and
us?
whoever you are sitting next to, make sure they give you a big hug. Sound good? Beautiful, beautiful,
You get to keep
beautiful.
that, yes.
And so we are going to conclude our service as we turn to page 323 and join together in Shalom Aleichem.
And we'll sing a fast version so
There you
that
go.
we can go and join in Oneg together. Here we go. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashare, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashare, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem, Boachem, Shalom Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni, Baruchuni Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seirchem, Seirchem, Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos, everyone. Beautiful.